At President Joe Biden's inauguration, Amanda Gorman read her poem, "The Hill We Climb," which contained 710 words and a time span of 5 1/3 minutes. How many words did Amanda speak per minute? When I look at this math problem, I look for a clue word to help me figure out what we're doing, and I see the word per. And the word per shows me that we are talking about a rate. And the rate we're talking about is we're talking about the amount of words that Amanda speaks per minute. Here, words is plural. There's an S on the end of it, so multiple words. Here, the word minute is singular. So we are talking about words per 1 minute. We're talking about a rate that has the second unit being equal to 1. So we're figuring out the amount per 1. We're not actually finding just a rate. More specifically, we're figuring out a unit rate. And to figure out a unit rate, we divide. So we are going to take the number of words, 710, and we're going to divide 710 by the number of minutes to figure out the number of words that Amanda spoke per minute. So now, when we're taking a mixed number and an integer and we're dividing them, we need to change both to fractional form. To change an integer to a fraction, place it over 1. And then I'm going to change this mixed number to an improper fraction by multiplying the 5 by the denominator and getting 15, then adding the numerator 1 to the 15 to get a new numerator of 16, and the denominator remains the same. Then I need to figure out a common denominator between 1 and 3. So if I count by 1s and then I count by 3s, you can see that the least common multiple is 3. So you could say the least common denominator is 3. So I don't need to change this fraction because it already has a denominator of 3. I do need to change this fraction. So I'm going to take 710 over 1 and change it so that it has a denominator of 3. To do this, I can't just change the denominator, I also have to change the numerator. So I need to think about, what did I multiply 1 by to get to 3? Well, I multiply 1 by 3 to get 3, so I also need to multiply the numerator by 3 to get the new numerator. So let me multiply 710 by 3. 0 times 3 is 0, 1 times 3 is 3, 7 times 3 is 21. So we have 2,130. So then I replace 710 over 1 with 2,130 thirds. And now that they have the same denominator, I'm ready to divide. This is really the answer, and I'll show you why in a second. I wanted to show you that 3 divided by 3 is equal to 1. So this number divided by 1 is really just this number. I'm going to take this a step further, and I'm going to go ahead and show you the division. So I'm going to just give myself a little bit more room. All right, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to simplify this fraction so it's easier to divide. I notice that the numerator and denominator are both even numbers, which means they can both be divided by 2 to simplify them. 16 divided by 2 gives me 8. And when I think about splitting this in half, I split each part separately. So I think of half of 2,000 is 1,000, half of 100 is 50, half of 30 is 15, and then I put it back together. So I took half of each piece, I put it back together, and so I get half of 2,130 is 1,065. And this would just make it easier for me to divide. 8 goes into 10. Well, I should say 8 goes into 1 0 times. 8 goes into 10 just one time. 8 goes into 26 3 times. 8 goes into 25 3 times. And then at this point, I need to add a decimal and add a 0. And I put that decimal at the top. And I bring the 0 down. 8 goes into 10 one time. And I'm seeing that I'm running out of room. I'll go ahead and bring a 0 down, see how much further I have to go. 8 goes into 20 2 times. So I'm just going to bring the 20 over here, and I'll go ahead and subtract the 16, because 8 times 2 gave me 16. I get 4, and then I have to bring down another 0. 8 goes into 45 times, and thankfully I'm finished dividing. So we get 133.125, which you're supposed to round this to the nearest whole number. So the nearest whole number would be the ones place. So let me write this over here. I'm rounding to the ones place. So this number is the decision maker. So does the 3 stay a 3 or does it go up to a 4? Well, since this is a 1, it's going to actually stay a 3. So we would say that in this speech or this poem, Amanda spoke 133 words per minute. So that's 100, like we talked about at the beginning, 133 words per every 1 minute. So that is a unit rate. Now I'm going to give you a little challenge. Amanda actually has taped herself, she's on YouTube, sharing other poems. So I'm curious, is this the rhythm? Oops. Is this the rhythm that she normally falls in? So does she normally speak 133 words per minute? So what you could do is you could go ahead and go to one of her other poems, see how many words are in that poem, how long it takes her to read the poem, and see if she uses the same rhythm, basically the same speed, the same words per minute. So yes, go be a nerd, figure that out, and then let me know what you learned.